Hi, Marie F. Beardwood here, academic technologist at the Faculty Center for Teaching and Learning, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about the continuation of learning during cancellation periods, otherwise known as when the snow flies, or the flu hits, or some other event happens. Before we begin, I want to be sure that you can access the worksheet that we will reference during this video. When you first started to watch this video, down below there's a little section on when this was published, some other information. Within there you will find a link to this worksheet. You may have to click the Show More button, click Show More, and then click once on this link, and you'll be prompted to open the document. The other choice is if it does not appear, you may have to check your downloads folder. You also may have to click Enable to access the document. So there's your worksheet. You didn't think you were going to attend an FCTL workshop and not have to do a worksheet, did you? And now on with our show.
So here we are again, when the snow flies, and another cancellation period for Rhode Island College. So what can you do to ensure the continuation of learning during cancellation periods? The short video will talk to you a little bit about identifying strategies that you can use to continue teaching and learning. It will help you identify ways to prepare students for remote learning activities. It will help you decide, will the remote delivery of content work for you, your teaching style, and your teaching strategy. We will also be sure that we meet ADA standards to accommodate all our students, and we'll talk about some implementation strategies. So that's where we're headed in this short video. So you really have two choices in terms of preparing for the continuation of learning during cancellation periods. Your first is weaving, and by that I mean that you can weave remote or online or some other non-synchronous or asynchronous activities throughout your term so it becomes a natural part of your class. If you're not comfortable with that, the other thing that you can do is just have something prepared so you can throw it in the mix when you need to. So what are your options? How do you approach this problem? So think about the content that you already have. What format is it in? Take a look at the worksheet. When you started this YouTube video, there was a link at the very bottom. There's a worksheet there that I'd like you to look at. So here are the questions that are going to drive some of our decision-making processes. In the left-hand column, you have a question, in what form is my content? Do I have text? Do I have video, audio? There are a bunch of other choices there, as you can see through this framework. So once you have the content and you know what form it is, the second question, the second column is, well, what do you want your students to do with that? If it's text, you obviously want them to read. If it's video, you want them to watch and listen. If it's audio, you want them to listen. But the other piece of that is, how does this activity support my overall course objectives? So, possible resources then is the third piece. Where will your students find the content? Is it in an online journal? Is it YouTube? Is it on a news organization like CNN? There's iTunes, NPR. There's all kinds of resources that are available out there. And I won't bore you by reading the list, but hopefully you've got the document open and you can look at that. And then the other piece is how will you communicate these activities to your students? So you're going to use Blackboard. There's a couple of different tools within Blackboard you can use. There's email, Google Sites, Facebook, Twitter, any others that you can think of. What do you use to communicate to your students? And last, you want to think about the value of this work, and you want them to verify that they've done it. So, is there a deliverable? If so, what is it? Is there a point value, or does this assignment contribute to the overall grade, or is it extra credit? So those are some decisions that you have to make before moving forward. So now that you've identified some file formats that contain information you wish to communicate to your students, you've thought a little bit about how you're going to communicate and what the value of these assignments will be to you and to your students. The other piece is that you want to think about preparing your students for these asynchronous activities. So you may want to start early in the term. Have some small introductory exercises or activities that showcase that they can do what it is that you want them to do. I recommend doing this when time is not critical, like today with the snow flying outside is probably not a good time to introduce higher stakes assignments in an online environment when you haven't really tested them. And once you do these small introductory exercises when time is not critical, definitely check with the students. Did they complete them? Are there questions? Are there technical difficulties? Do you need to send them to the help desk? Bottom line is preparing them will ensure their success and less aggravation for you. Now that you've identified activities for them to do, you're thinking about where you're going to put this information, or where is this information located for students to access. Then how do you communicate this to the students? You can use email, Blackboard, Facebook, Twitter. Really, the recommendation is to not use something that you don't normally use within the course of your class. So if you email them regularly, then communicate with them that way. Communicate the expectations via email. If you use Blackboard, use Blackboard. Bottom line is, they should be used to the method of communication, so it's not out of the ordinary for them. So there's other things to consider as well. We talked about this a little bit. What's the work's value? Are there points involved? Is it extra credit? Is there a deliverable that you want them to do? Is there a way that you want to verify that they have done the work? How does this support your objectives? And then think about putting a statement in your syllabus that says something like, in the event classes are canceled due to inclement weather or flu pandemic or other event, you will still be expected to complete work. Think about putting that in your syllabus, and then students will know you mean business. This isn't to just make your little head explode. Really, I'm not trying to make your head explode. Because really, we've just done a few things. We've identified strategies for delivery of asynchronous materials. We've identified ways to prepare students. And we've identified ways of communicating these expectations to students. And we've outlined some decisions you need to make. Last but not least, you want to be sure that any of these electronic resources you communicate to students or you give students, they must be ADA compliant. What does that mean? It means if you have a video, there should be closed captioning. If there's audio files, there should be transcripts. If you have a basic document, either from an electronic journal, website, or PDF or Word document, they should be readable by a screen reader. If you need assistance with that, please call the help desk.
So if this idea is intriguing to you and you would like to experiment, test, or implement some ways to continue teaching and learning during cancellation periods, where do you go for help? If you just like to bounce around ideas, I'm happy to help. Give me a call. There's my contact information. And we can ensure that you can continue teaching and learning when the snow flies, the flu hits, or other crazy event.
And I'll leave you with this, just because I can't believe how much it's snowing. There you go. Thanks. Appreciate your attention and time, and call me if you need me.